Okay.
Hey, Gail's dad.
We're not live yet, you nut.
No.
It says
Oh,
live.
Fucking hell.
Okay, cool. Now we're good. Nick, you wanted to say something.
Me? I don't think so.
Oh my word. Okay. Hi guys. Welcome to the coolest YouTube stream on a Friday evening. Thanks, Nick. Thanks. Nick's not even holding up the pretense.
Sorry.
We had some laughs before joining, in case you guys couldn't tell. So I'm Yana, as you can tell by my name tag, and then in the middle we have this weird British dude named Nick, who also goes by Mikola. So actually, one of the reasons I have Nick here on the stream today is so that he doesn't cause crap in chat, because that's usually where you see him trolling in our YouTube chat. And then, of course, our guest of honor, is Gail.
Hi, guys.
So-
Thanks so much for having me.
So Gail and I actually met the first time, actually the only time in person, 2023 at the BRICS protest, where this crazy chick drove all the way. Did you drive all the way from Nyasna, or did you fly up?
For Joburg, I actually took a bus. I took a bus to Johannesburg and back.
You took
Yeah,
a
it's
bus?
I wouldn't do it
And-
again. I
and
would
it's
fly
not-
next time.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So
I mean, that reminds me of all the buses I took to Kiev from Poland.
yeah, but South African buses are
Nice.
not on that level, not on the same level at all. It's like
It was
boom.
worth it. It was definitely worth it.
I mean, it was funny. We got to the place and they were like, "Oh yeah, you can't protest at the actual event." So they had like a special location for everyone who wanted to protest. That's like almost a kilometer away from where the actual event was held. And I'm like, wow, that's how threatening we are.
Yeah, that was
But that's where we met.
Guys, my connection is not looking good. I'm just seeing how pixelated I am.
Just pause.
It's
pause
okay.
the YouTube.
You look better like
Don't
that.
go both ways.
I'm joking.
Thank you so much, Nick. I might change my location.
You're like Minecrafting it,
if the camera quality continues looking like that.
Hi, Nicola.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Nicola is part of Uwaza. She's part of our Uwaza community. Yes.
I met Nicola at the screening of Intercepted last week, Thursday. I'm hoping to see her before I leave Cape Town. I want to give her this flag, actually.
Oh, the one behind you.
Because that's my extra flag.
Nice.
Yeah. I could have met Nicola in February when I was here for the 3-year protest, but the protest was just, I think, a bit big. So I didn't meet Nicola in person in February, but I met her last week.
Awesome. That's awesome. Hey, Alia. Sorry, Alia. My second screen is like from what? Gail?
I was just wondering if that was Ala, one of my students. I know that I've sent tonight's link to a number of my students.
Make sure how bad my screen is. No, it is Ala. Might be your student.
Ala's here. Oh my gosh. Guys, my students are in the stream watching me. That makes it like a lot easier somehow. Oh my gosh.
Those of you who don't know.
So 2 of my students have already messaged in the chat.
Oh my word, Oksana's also here, your student. Okay, guys, so those of you who don't know, Gail is a teacher. And she teaches English. Nick, her English is actually better than mine. So Gail, here's the funny thing. Nick thought I was a native English speaker until he saw me help one of my Ukrainian friends with her grammar homework, and he was like, "There's no way this person is a native English speaker."
Oh, sweet. That's lovely. Yeah, I said to my students that they were going to hear another South African voice. If they watch, they're going to hear a non-native English South African voice, which, compared to how that mine sounds, I'm
Nick
not
will say
sure.
we both sound the
Your,
same.
your English is beautiful, guys. We're
You all sound the same.
But see,
excellent.
Nick is,
And honestly, I think you do.
but yeah, so Gail is a teacher, and also one of the really cool things that was really awesome for me was at the BRICS protest, you had this massive ass flag, and she wrote the names of like all of her students along the side of the flag, like as it went up all around. It was really awesome. Hey Cheryl, thank you for joining. Nice to have
Yeah.
you. Oh yeah, that's the one. That is the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the only flag I have left from the thumbnail of tonight's video.
Because you handed everyone else. Yo, you just
Yeah, so all the flags in the
you
thumbnail.
just
Yeah,
handed all
yeah.
of them out. I remember I was looking at it like,
Mhm.
it's crazy. Gail also made me a flag, and the thing is taller than I am. So
There are things taller than you.
haha. Hey Alvin Archer.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
it's honestly sewing, because I have a sewing machine. It's a skill that I learned
yeah,
years ago.
I remember
And
looking at the tension here.
it says connection lost.
No, we can still
reconnecting.
see you. It's perfect. No, we just lost you. Never
No,
mind.
yeah, she's frozen.
I'm just going to move my location.
We are good. We can hear you. Hey, EJ, welcome. And Lisa, welcome.
This
as
is the
well.
worst. This should happen during class. Okay,
It's okay.
let's try
it's
like
okay.
that.
Don't worry about it.
Hey, Elvin Archer.
I said hello first, Nick.
It's not a competition, you know.
It is. It is between us. It's competition. Gail, I think maybe try and rejoin. Because you're giving us like peace sign.
Yeah, you know, maybe she should just leave.
No. Also, Alvin, thank you for becoming a member on our YouTube channel. Let me just message Gail
I
and
think
tell her to.
she's always there on Yulia's streams as well. Elvin.
I think so, yeah.
Everyone's now discussing when they realize
my non-English
that you didn't speak English properly.
That sounds like, yeah. Weird word order, and I couldn't understand what she meant. Honestly, Cheryl, that gives me flashbacks to when I had English neighbors.
Jana,
yes, Nick.
When did you first realize you couldn't speak English properly?
When did you first realize that you can only speak English?
I'm not sure I can.
Gail, I can't see you. It says camera, but no Gail.
Yeah, I think she's ghosting us. Ooh, what language is Afrikaans like? What is Afrikaans like?
What is it? It is
like Dutch?
95% lexical similarity to Dutch, but it's different.
Should it be more like English?
Yeah, Nicola's right. It's closer to Flemish. If you hear Flemish and you hear Afrikaans, you would be like kind of same. They
Belgium
sound
as well.
Belgium is not a language, dude.
Yeah, but Flemish is.
Yes. Okay, I think Gail will
Where the
join
hell
us.
does Gail keep going?
She heard you say that Belgium is a language, and she was like, "No, screw this. Can't hang out with this dude."
We actually had stuff we were supposed to say during this thing.
We do. She'll join. She's just having connection issues. Not all of us are from first world countries like you. Yay, we see the ceiling, I think.
No,
Can
no,
we
I think
hear
that's the
Gail?
face.
Gail? Oh, wait. Oh,
Wait, there was a fourth person there for a second.
it wasn't a person. It wasn't a person. It was like you're sharing two camera settings thingies.
Whew.
It's
Anyway.
nice to see you again.
Okay. But am I in the stream?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Hello again, Gail. Good to see you.
Gail? Are you frozen?
Well, maybe we can just chat amongst ourselves.
How are we doing? We were
We were doing perfectly.
has
That is right.
happened.
Oh wait, I think I want to do something. Okay.
I have so much I want to ask Gail.
You can still ask her.
I can't until her internet works
I'm just
properly.
gonna
We can hear
Okay.
you. Can you hear us?
The internet gods are not being kind to
It
me.
shouldn't be like
It's okay. It's still like the first 15 minutes. They don't count. Like, you want to refresh again or something?
Yeah, Cheryl, we can't hear Gail either.
Nick. Connection loss, just being like doot, doot.
Just committed connection loss.
No, that is their username. That's their actual YouTube name. Also, Mitch Stacey, I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
This is all going to plan.
It's going perfectly. Mitch Stacey, I'm assuming, is also a relative of Gail, so welcome and to another relative of Gail. Damn, I wish my family was this supportive when I'm on streams.
Oh, Mish Stacey.
Yeah.
Mish is.
Oh my
yep.
god.
That was like a speed up of Gail.
Are you there? Can you hear us?
Sorry about that.
You're back! Yay! Sort of.
It was not.
It's okay. It's our country. It's our country.
Yeah, it's your country.
I feel like we can just make like memes out of every single
Yeah,
time
yeah,
Gail
or it's
freezes.
So fingers that the stream continues working. Otherwise, I'll try come back from my cell phone.
This is good.
What do you
It was better previously though,
think?
before you did the move and everything.
And there she goes again.
Okay. One sec. Nick, stop laughing at people for stressing. Hey, Reptile.
This is everything I imagined it would be.
Yes, Lisa, we are both South African, and I will retell the story of how we met as soon as Gail joins. Waar is sy nou? Haar connection het gedooi, so sy gaan nou weer terug wees. Hey! Guns Uncensored is, I think that's one of my friends. I forgot his YouTube channel. So that might be one of my friends, I'm not sure. Tim, is it jy? Okay, yeah, that's my friend. It's Tim.
It's Tom.
Tim, not Tom. What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? This is more fun than I ever imagined. Okay. Perfect. Gail,
Is she
you
back?
are
Is she
Guys.
back? Gail,
She is
can you
with
hear
us.
us?
She has
I'm so
returned.
sorry.
Save us from this cringe-worthy limbo.
Okay,
loved
yeah, I'm
it.
so sorry.
People love it.
I-
No, people loved it. They're like,
No.
this is the content they signed up for.
Well, here I am, and I think we're good.
Awesome. So,
whew,
just for some
I'm
context,
sweating
guys.
now.
Hey, Viper's also here. Hi, Bitty.
Hey,
Anyway,
Viper.
so
All right.
here is a bit of context for those of you who weren't here in the first minute of the stream. Gail and I met in 2023 at a BRICS protest in Johannesburg. She took a bus all the way up from, can I say where you're from?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait,
I
so,
say nice now, she says
sorry.
nice now.
just to be clear for everyone's chat, you were protesting BRICS?
I don't understand if you're making a joke or not. That's the thing. That's the problem with Nick. You know, BRICS, like
For those of you in the stream who do not know,
no, you not. Brazil, Russia, India, China, that BRICS.
South Africa.
Yeah, we're the S.
BRICS.
Yeah.
exactly. And in 2023, South Africa was hosting the BRICS
hosting it.
conference, which
And
meant that
Putin-
delegations from Brazil, Russia, China, India, and us.
And
Mhm.
Putin, I remember there was that big thing going on with like, will Putin come or not? And then
Because technically he's a war criminal.
and we actually signed the Rome Statute. And then finally he decided not to come. South Africa asked him please to not attend.
Yeah. They sent Sergei Lavrov instead. And I remember one of the posters of that protest was Lavrov, go home.
Should have just had a picture of a horse. Like, go home, horse.
Exactly. So that was in 2023, and that was, in the first year of the war. I think it was less than a year since the beginning of the full-scale invasion.
Yeah.
So I think there was more international attention being paid at that time.
I mean, I remember there were quite a few international TV crews there that day. I remember that, and they were like, "We want to speak to a Ukrainian," and they look at me. I'm like, "Nope, I just look Ukrainian. Speak to the actual Ukrainian."
And your name is Yana, which does not help your situation.
Yana, like, not help my situation.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah. So no, it was interesting though, because they were so scared of us. We weren't even allowed to protest at the venue. We had to protest a kilometer away from the venue. So
that was disappointing. I wanted the Russian delegation to see our signs. I spent a lot of time sewing those flags.
Yeah. And by the way, did you know that one of this, because remember we were partnering there, like Uwaza was there with Amnesty International, but Amnesty International South Africa and the Human Sisman Foundation, right? And I don't know which one of them, I think it was Amnesty, who just started like a little impromptu dance around session. And I filmed it and posted it. And someone commented, was like, why did you change the words to kill the boer, kill the farmer?
Oh my God.
Apparently we were we're dancing around to this. But what Tim, Guns Uncensored, who's here, will say when I told him that is he was like, yeah, because their songs actually had rhythm. Like when he was in the military here in South Africa, they would sing struggle songs to hold the rhythm, and then the guys would complain like, why do we never sing white songs? And they were like, you do not want to sing Bobbejaan Klim die Berg. You do not want to run drills on that song.
No, we're not doing that. No. The truth is, a catchy beat is what carries a message.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you work in marketing full time?
She's a teacher.
No, my students are all Ukrainian, either living in Ukraine or part of the Ukrainian diaspora. So I work closely with, I care about these people. I speak to them every day. I have the lovely opportunity to listen to the air raids. When my students cancel classes, I worry about them, especially like currently my students in Kiev are obviously going through a terrible time. And it feels like for the month of June, every single Monday I was logging onto class and my students hadn't slept. And I think internationally people don't realize that this is still going on as severely as it was in March 2022, that these things are still going on.
I think Sabiha said the other day that since the start of the full-scale invasion, there has only been 2 days where Russia did not hit Ukraine with air attacks.
Yeah.
There were 2 days when they didn't?
2 days where they did not hit Ukraine since the start of the full-scale invasion.
I'm surprised there were 2.
Nick.
Well, I think the reason that I have been doing this is because I know and I care about so many people in Ukraine. When I do these one-woman protests, people ask me, "Are you Ukrainian?" I say, "No, but I have Ukrainian friends. They're my students, but they are absolutely my friends."
Like we're friends, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And I know some of them are actually watching tonight, which is really cool of them. Thanks, guys.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually funny for me that you did the one-woman protest thing, because I also did one, but mine was by accident. Because we were protesting the Russian ballet that came to South Africa, and we had scheduled a scheduled protest for the first 2 shows, and then it went on for 2 weeks, but we didn't protest. And then the last weekend, I was like, no, but we have to be there. It's the last 2 shows. We have to be there. And they were like, yeah, no, we'll see if we can come, but no one could commit. And at the end of the day, I'm standing there by myself with this poster. And it's at Monte Casino, right? And one of the security guards comes up to me. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I am protesting.
Well,
he's like, what are you protesting? And I start explaining to him what I'm protesting. And he's like, yes, but we can't stop Russia because they'll nuke us. And then I start listing all the red lines that have not worked out. And I just start debunking every single Russian propaganda myth. And he's like, so we can actually do something? I'm like, yes, thank you. Here's a flyer.
We can, yeah. Yeah, I wish I had flyers to hand out. Yeah, I just told people that, yeah, there's still a war going on in Russia. Because the place I chose to protest was in the public square outside the Russian consulate. So in Cape Town, the Russian consulate is on the 8th floor of one of these office buildings, and it overlooks this public square. For anyone in South Africa who's watching, it's Tybalt Square. And people go and have their lunch there. It's really safe. There's private security. I wasn't going to get mugged or anything. standing there with my
I
flag.
love how we have to say that as South Africans, and everyone else is like, "There's a public square. Why would you get mugged? It's the middle of the day." And South Africans were like, "Yeah, there was private security. It was totally safe."
Yeah, I had a student just
Mhm.
today in a public park with his laptop. He was in a park on his laptop having class, and I had to comment. I said I would never do that in South Africa.
It was so weird for
Um,
me. It was so weird for me when I was like in Ukraine, and I'm there, and there's just video call with phones out like this. I'm like, your phone will get stolen just like that. Like
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
no phone. It was crazy.
Well, that's why I don't have any photos apart from the photo I sent you. I don't have any photos
Mhm.
of me protesting in the square because it was just me. I'm not going to whip out my phone and start taking selfies.
Like total
That's also not
selfie
what it's
stick
about.
here. Yeah. It's crazy. So one of the things that I actually found interesting is when you had this recent protest on the 12th of June, you actually printed out the South African Constitution,
I
the
did.
Public Gatherings Act, and the Public Places Bylaw, so that the security could not tell you to move.
Yeah, yeah. Because I tried to do it on the 9th of May. 9th of May is Russia's Victory Day.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was here for family reasons in May. So I don't live here, but if I am in Cape Town while there is a Russian public holiday going on, it really seems a good use of my time and my petrol money to wave my flag in the square.
Yeah.
So on the 9th of May, when I did it, they told me this is a private space and you have to leave. You're not allowed to do this here. And I had researched, and I truly thought I did have permission to stand in the square, in the center of the square.
You do.
Well, I was like, okay, look, I'm not going to fight. So let me just move to the corner of the square because they can't own the whole square. So I moved to the corner of the square and they couldn't ask me to move, and I stood there for 90 minutes.
We did that with, so I don't know if you're familiar with the Right to Know campaign.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So we printed out their stuff.
Mhm.
And it was like, it was so weird because we're there, we show the people at Monte Casino, we're like, no, look, it's in the Right to Know campaign. It says they're okay. Like, yeah, well, you could have printed this out anywhere. So I feel like you went about it much smarter.
I know the Right to Know brochure you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because Drinker sent it to me. Because between my May One Woman protest and my June One Woman protest, I messaged Drinker and I said, look, they said I need permission. Who can I message for permission? And she said, no, you don't need permission.
You don't need permission if you're less than 15
and
people,
she sent me the Right to Know brochure, which I didn't print that, but I could have. I think having the actual constitution there with me
was much more powerful. Yeah. So guys, just for you in chat, Right to Know is a South African NGO that focuses on teaching. Helena, Mikola Tsenik. He doesn't understand Ukrainian. Now you're speaking to him in Ukrainian. He doesn't understand it.
What do you mean I don't understand Ukrainian?
Because I know you don't. What did Helena tell you?
She said, Nick, you
know.
Wait, let me Google it.
I can hear you Googling it. Oh, she
You
knows
know
it's
not
you.
easy. That's what she said.
Nice. It is.
So,
anyway, where were we?
So, we have kind of that issue here in South Africa with, people are like, yes, we're a country for activists and, activism. Hey, welkom Theo. Dank dat je hier is. have another South African here. It's at the Human Rights Festival this year. I spoke to all the other activists there, and I asked them, I'm like, hey, are you guys having trouble getting the word out? Are you having trouble? Do you struggle to get media opportunities? And they're like, yes, yes, yes. All except the Helen Suzman Foundation, who did not have a problem because their PR person used to be a journalist. So he's just using his contacts. And it's so weird being in a country that has such a rich legacy of activists, and then speaking to other activists and realizing none of us are able to get anything in the media.
Look, I think we're so blessed to have one of the most ethical constitutions in the world.
Unlike the UK
But-
that doesn't have a constitution. Thanks for telling us that, Nick.
Yeah, new information learned today.
Did you guys know the UK does not have a constitution? Anyway, Gail, please continue.
Well, the point is that as South Africans, our constitution was hard won. That we had people who resisted, who fought, and who died for the right to protest, and that I feel that if we do not protest and do not stand up for injustices and human rights abuses, that it is a disservice to those who fought for this constitution. I think we are so privileged that our constitution protects us. But I think what I've seen with security guards is that they don't necessarily know the constitution.
Yeah.
That private laws, that just the word of being scary is more important than the constitution. I think refusal to look away is, I think, the most important thing here. That we are 4 years in now. We are in the fourth year, We're in the fourth year of Russia's full-scale invasion. And people are looking away. And I think those are the two main reasons why I feel the need to do this. Is that my constitution protects me, and I do not want people to look away.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I feel like there's so much noise in the information space at the moment, on a geopolitical scale, with what's going on in the Middle East is distracting attention. You have the entire Sahel up in Africa. That's just like absolute chaos. And a lot of people who used to focus on Ukraine have shifted their attention elsewhere. And that has led to, to people who used to report on these things are just no longer reporting on it. Although I will say one thing that was weird. I know a while ago, a group of journalists from Die Burger and Beeld and Netwerk 24 went to Ukraine. Okay.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Nice.
They went to Ukraine, went to Bucha, went to all of those places. And then when they came back, I remember Kiev was hit, and they wrote about it on their social media, and they actually spelled Kiev correctly, like with the correct Afrikaans transliteration of the Ukrainian spelling, not the English, not the Russian transliteration.
Yeah,
so that was kind of cool. As for what Nicola is saying, I agree with her. There's still ignorance on the fact that it was Soviet support to us during apartheid, not Russia alone. And
thank you,
yes,
Nicola.
Ukraine was one of the Soviets. Says not only that, Ukraine was, what was it, like the deputy chair of the committee against apartheid, the UN committee against apartheid. Meanwhile, Russia was doing deals with the apartheid government with diamond smuggling.
Yeah. The truth is that our freedom fighters were trained in Odessa.
And Mykolaiv and Kharkiv.
I did not know that. I just know that it was not. It was.
It was not
the Russian
Moscow.
Federation supporting our freedom fighters. Yes.
No.
Exactly.
It was. It was Odessa, Mykolaiv, and Kharkiv, which are all Ukrainian cities.
Yeah. I think maybe we should take a moment to speak about this misconception that Russia helped South Africa during the apartheid years, because I think it's relevant.
It is relevant, but it also speaks to like a greater thing of how Russia has painted itself as a liberator of colonies. You know,
The
if you look at
irony, hey? Yeah.
I know the irony. But the way poor Nick, he's just sitting here. Nick, do you want to add? Do you want to contribute?
I'm learning stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
I don't know if I like the opinions of colonizers. Sorry.
No, he's used to getting shit from us.
But yeah, I think there's this misconception in South Africa that Russia helped South Africa overthrow apartheid, and that there's this historical debt that South Africa has to Russia, which is simply not the case. And that, I think, is the biggest misconception I have to explain to other South Africans.
I think that's the one thing, but on the other hand, I feel like, I mean, that's for South Africans who actually care about it, you know? I think a lot of South Africans are just going with like, why should we be bothered? It's not our war, you know? And I'm like, yeah, you guys want to know who was the biggest contributor to the ANC's campaign 3 or 4 elections ago? Gail, guess. Guess who was? Yevgeny Prigozhin.
Yeah.
3 or 4 elections ago, he was the biggest contributor, the biggest donor to the ANC's election or to their campaign. Like the actual dude from Wagner.
Yeah.
It has no effect. Russia has no effect on South African politics. By the way, do you know if you are on a Russian list yet or not?
If I'm not yet, I will be after this stream. But I suspect. Look, I've stood in front of the consulate twice. I'm quite sure they know who I am.
I'm also on the list. I found the list online. I'm on it.
Well, you're definitely on my list.
Oh, thank you, Nick. That's so kind of you. But you're not that much of a threat. It's not that big of a deal.
You're still on my list, though.
Thank you.
I don't think somebody can be considered a terrorist for waving a flag in a public square.
Oh, you would be surprised. Depends on
one small girl with one small flag. Yeah, interesting.
And your Vinok. Don't forget the Vinok. The Vinok is
yes. I don't know if it goes with my
It doesn't go with the headset. I've tried before.
No. Oh, you've tried. That's disappointing.
Cool. She had one.
Oh, that is woefully disappointing. There we go.
It suits you.
We have matching ones because she
it really does. Well. Yeah.
So we have matching.
Yes. We have matching binky.
We'll make one for you as well, Nick. You can wear it too.
Actually, the next Vinok I'm making will be for Olga. Olga of Wow Woman, who lives here in Cape Town. She told me she doesn't have a Vinok.
No.
Yeah. So secret's out. I'm making Olga a Vinok.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Again, that's just because I have the skills.
Yeah, what, like glue gun. Glue gun and flowers.
Yours was sewn by hand, ma'am, and so is this one.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, but I think that just going back to why I have been and continue to do so, sewing all these flags is because.
I lost you. Sorry, the reason you do this, and then I lost you.
The reason I'm sewing the flags particularly is because you cannot buy a South African, a Ukrainian flag in South Africa.
Exactly.
And I imagine you cannot buy a South African flag in Ukraine.
You can probably.
You can just go on Amazon here.
Yeah, we don't have Amazon. Well, we have Amazon now, but it's.
Yeah, I was thinking like a student said to me AliExpress, and I'm like, do I want to wait 6 months? No.
Yeah.
It's
No.
quicker to make one, and I have a sewing
Yeah.
machine. I have the skills.
And really
Um,
good quality fabric, I have to say.
Did you show the stream your gloves yet?
Oh, I
Yeah,
took the
show the
gloves
stream your
off
gloves.
because I started sweating because of the connection problems. Yes. And I know that one of my aunts is probably in the stream. I don't know if the aunt who made the gloves is in the stream. But my students, many of my students have seen the gloves because because it is midwinter in South Africa right now. Please don't forget. So thank you, Auntie
Oh,
Kathy.
come on. Aren't
Those
they,
are
Yeah,
aren't
awesome.
they adorable?
thank
They're way
you. No,
better
I
than what
love
I did.
them.
So, start of the full-scale invasion, right? I was like, I need to do something to
Mhm.
show awareness, okay, and spread awareness. And I was like, I'm gonna get my nails done. Nick, it gets worse. Okay, so I I got my nails done, and on one I had like a sunflower, and it's like
Oh,
blue and yellow. And I show it to my brother. Now my brother is turning 24 this year. But I showed it to him. He's like, "Wow, Yana, you're such a white girl activist. Such an impact you're having right there."
I've also been told this is very white girl of you to
This is very
protest for
white girl
causes that
activist.
have nothing to do with you.
Yeah, as if you couldn't just be a human being.
Caring about human rights. Yeah.
No, you're not allowed to do that. Just so I just found it really funny. But Nicola said, yeah, she saw the gloves on Thursday. So on Thursday, you guys went to watch Intercepted, right?
We did watch Intercepted together. Well, I mean, I met her and we chatted beforehand. We sat next to each other. So Nicola in the chat is another South African woman fiercely
Yes.
supporting Ukraine.
She's awesome. She is awesome.
Have you met her in real life or just
No,
through
No,
UAZA?
I'll just take your word for it.
just through
Uh-huh.
WhatsApp.
Nick. Brilliant.
Yeah, so Intercepted, for those of you who don't know, is a documentary that shows like just footage and stills of deoccupied places in Ukraine, and then it plays intercepted calls that SBU intercepted between Russian invaders and their family in Russia, and it is really. I sat there. I remember I was sitting there and I was like, I was getting annoyed. And then I had this like burning anger inside me. I'm like, well, I guess I need to fundraise for more drones. You know?
Yeah.
And
I definitely had the same feeling. Yes.
I was like, need to fundraise for more drones. And then you hear like on the screen, like while watching this, you hear the Russian propaganda. And I almost want to, I'm like, it's me. And I almost want to start laughing because I'm like, oh, they're still repeating this. But it's like,
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
it was the first time my mom actually watched something like related to Ukraine, right? Because usually I just tell her stuff. And after watching this, she was like, "Okay, I actually understand why you're doing what you're doing, and I'm glad you're doing it."
Yeah.
So,
I almost didn't go to watch, but it was
oh
the
really?
only. Yeah, I mean, it didn't teach me anything new.
Yeah,
I've heard all of this from my students already,
yeah,
and yeah, so nothing surprised me.
yeah,
What was really beautiful to me was to see all the South Africans in the audience, still
yeah,
paying attention, still watching. Can
yeah.
you hear that in the background?
The cat, yes.
Yes, I am so sorry, guys.
I want to
This is
ask
like,
Nick though.
Just cut her off. Cut her off.
I want to ask Nick though,
Mhm.
because I asked him to join and then I haven't given him I haven't asked him any questions.
yes, we want the opinion of the.
No. So Nick, before you imperial shame him, okay?
I'm trying my hardest.
Nick has led a few protests in London when he still lived in London.
Mm-hmm.
Did you lead them or just speak at them? Well, that sounds very condescending.
I didn't lead them. Can you imagine if I led them?
You would, yeah, the Russian embassy would have been burned down. So it's disappointing that you did not lead them. But
Yeah,
was that a big
I spoke at them.
yeah, was that a big thing for you? Like,
Mm-hmm.
did you you're being so awkward right now, dude.
Protesting can be awkward.
Well, so Gail, this
Yeah.
was like what happened. Okay, back in what was it, December 2021, when Russia was building up its forces around Ukraine, I was telling all my friends, like, this is gonna happen. Like, Russia's gonna invade, and no, everyone was like, no, that's not gonna happen. Like,
are your friends NATO?
And then suddenly I met a Ukrainian lady somehow in January 2022, and she told me when the protests were happening in London, and I went along, and she pushed me against my will to say something, because at the time they were like, we want people from other countries to just support us verbally. And so I got guilt tripped into talking
supporting Ukraine.
the London protest. And then
I wish more of my friends were like that. I try.
And then they actually appreciated it. I saw that they appreciated it, and so like literally every day for the next 6 months, basically, I was writing speeches to say at the London protest, just in case I got asked to say one again, because I didn't want to get caught out.
Awesome.
You're like, this time I will be prepared.
Yeah.
Did you volunteer
Good.
at any point to go? Did you just like, I prepared a speech, I will say it, even if you don't ask me to?
Yeah, I was literally writing them on my phone on the tube on the way to central London.
Brilliant. Nice.
Awesome.
And my dad even came along to London.
I know, I have a
he
video
doesn't
of
even
your
live
dad.
in London. He came down to London to visit me, and he did a speech at the London protests as well. It was so adorable.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And what is the sort of security or police presence like in London for protest actions?
The police are really good in London. Like they are there to protect the Ukrainian protesters. And the only time I ever saw any trouble, I think it was probably like 3 or 4 times. They had like Russian dickheads harassing the Ukrainian protesters.
I've seen videos of them in the UK.
Wow.
I'm like, just go back to Russia if you like it so
Gosh.
much.
That
What
has
does your
not
cat
happened
want,
to me at
Gail?
all. It is my friend's cat.
Okay.
He wants this
Okay.
this crocheted bean toy. I'm so sorry. Well, he wants to show it to me. I don't know if taking it away will help.
Yeah,
Like,
we
sorry.
almost got
There's only one way to find out.
so I don't know if you've met Lesia from Uaza. Not you, Nick. I know you.
Yes. Oh, sorry. She was the first Ukrainian I spoke to when I realized that the BRICS was going to be held. Yeah.
because she was organizing BRICS, of course. Yeah.
So I messaged and got in contact with her that way.
For context for everyone else, she is the Gauteng representative Gauteng is a province in South Africa. Like, let's start with that. South Africa is a country, and then we have provinces, and then you
Wait,
have
what?
Gauteng. Piss off, Nick.
Jana lives like 1,400 kilometers away from me, and she's still in the same country as me.
Oh, you wouldn't even believe how many kilometers she lives away from me.
Yeah, but you're in different countries. Do you know how big South Africa is?
Nick's here for the dumb
Um,
jokes, and we're here for
Sorry?
it. I said you're here for the dumb jokes, and we are here for it. Anyway,
Thank you.
so Lesia is the Gauteng representative for the Ukrainian Association of South Africa. I'm the Joburg rep. Yay! But anyway, we were at a protest, and the security guards were coming up being very intimidating and everything, and Lesia's standing there. She's like, actually no, this is what the bylaw says. And they're arguing with her, and Lesia's standing there. These 4 big burly buff guys who are like running the security at Monte Casino are trying to intimidate her, and she's just like standing there with her hands on her hips being like, no. Just like goals.
Look, it's people like Lesia and you who actually inspired me to go and do my my first one woman protest. You know, you said you never told me that your protest that you did alone at Monte Casino. You didn't tell me that was just an organizational failure. I just thought this woman went there on her own to do it, and I'm like,
Oh, you thought it was
and I'm like, well, if Jana can do it, so
No.
can I.
No, it was just bad organized. This is what happens when you have like an ADHD person trying to do a protest and it's last minute. Like, hey guys, let's do it. Yeah, we'll maybe be there. Okay, cool. And so you thought it was like planned. No. But I
Yeah.
was like, it's.
Well, I just thought that.
No, I took an Uber there. I got out of the Uber, protested, and then got back in the Uber and left.
Brilliant. I think the only difference between that protest of yours and mine is that I took my own car to the Cape Town protest.
I didn't want to pay for parking. Didn't want to pay for parking. I was like, no way I'm paying for parking.
You know, that is a very, very good point. But I wanted my car near me in case something went wrong and I needed to run. I wasn't going to wait for an Uber. But again, that's why I recorded the interaction between the security guards and I.
Yeah, I actually recorded our interaction from like the first protest we had with him, which was crazy.
Were you worried something unconstitutional would happen? Because that's why I recorded, because I knew that the Constitution was on my side.
Yeah, so Nick.
What?
So we started off. Opening night was in Monte Casino, right? According to the gatherings and public places bylaws, and we were allowed to be there without notification. It's a public space, private public.
How many people were you? Because if you are
less than 15.
Okay, cool.
More than 15 is a problem. Yeah. We made sure we were less than 15. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
We were handing and we booked a table at a restaurant right overlooking the teatro at Monte Casino. So we put up balloons and flags and everything to make it look like we're having a party for our friend in Ukraine. You know?
Brilliant. Nice.
But security was watching us because
someone had told them.
About a month. No, a month. We were.
Where did she go?
Gail. She left us.
Fuck her.
Dum dum dum. No, we like her. Be nice. Behave. Thank you. She'll join us now, I'm sure.
I literally,
Also,
while you guys have been talking, I have to confess I haven't been paying attention. I've been just reading the messages
I could tell.
Comments. They're funny.
Sorry, guys.
There we go.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
I wish that this could have just been like a reliable internet connection. It's been beautiful all day, but
Yeah, I
not
fucking
right
wish
now.
it could have been a reliable internet connection as well. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm joking.
I want to say welcome to South Africa.
Is that Vodacom? Is that Vodacom?
I will have to ask my
He
friend.
used to work
I'm
for-
house sitting for a friend. I only took the house sit because it would mean that I was in Cape Town for the 12th of June. So
Wow, that is great. That is great strategizing on your part.
yeah.
It's just like, I want to protest. Where can I house sit?
It was honestly that, long story short, it was just an idea that if I wanted to drive and house sit for her, I could. And it was just like a fun suggestion.
Okay.
But I took it
And she
seriously
took it up.
and she took it up. Yeah. Because I wanted to be back in Cape Town for the 12th of June.
Yeah.
Why does Keith keep
Um,
saying Starlink? Well, actually, no, it's not just Keith. Everyone keeps saying Starlink.
Oh my
Can I teach
gosh.
you how YouTube works, Nix?
Um,
So Nick, can I just explain to Nick?
okay, but
Nick, remember we have a Starlink. Yes, your person. Who is the Stacey person?
I think we're talking to her, aren't we?
it's just about Starlink and South Africa and Elon Musk. I'm like, I don't want to go there. That's all.
No. So get this, right? So the reason keeps saying Starlink is because we have a Starlink adoption program where
Oh.
the soldiers use Starlink on the front, right? And they have to pay for the subscriptions themselves, and that works out about here $100, which they have to pay out of pocket. But if you're running quite a few Starlinks, then it becomes a very expensive endeavor. So we now provide a service where people can subscribe to become Starlink parents, and then we cover the fees.
Yeah.
Also, well played by Key, though. Every time there's a connection issue, he comes the Starlink prompt.
Who was
very
it
well played.
that time when we were, well, when I was DMing you during one of your streams?
Oh,
Who explained
Oh,
the whole
yeah,
thing
so-
about Starlink really well? I
Oh.
forgot who it was.
Brandon Mitchell.
Brandon
Mitchell. So Gail, for
Yeah.
context, I got a few. Obviously, when Elon and Trump took over the White House, I got emails from people who were already supporting Starlinks, and they said, we just want to make sure that should anything happen, the guys are covered. And I said, yes, it's fine. We are in contact with them constantly. If they change, we will let you know. But right now, they're still using Starlink.
Brilliant.
And then we got a few more donations, and I got messages in like, how dare you support America and Elon Musk?
God, it's more complicated than that, guys. It's a lot more complicated.
I got shut out and got shut out in 3 or 4 emails, right? And I was eventually like, boycotting Starlink is a privilege that Ukraine does not have.
That's very nicely said. Yeah.
Out some of the emails you got.
I'm not going to read out some of the emails I got, but they were.
We can trust that they were ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really extreme. And I had to explain, like, look, this is not an ideological alignment. This is a necessity alignment, you know?
There's no better alternative.
Colby Hendricks is like, if he was the only one that made toilet paper, I'd buy that shit. Exactly. Because right now in Ukraine, nothing else works. There are alternatives. Yes, people will tell me, yes, there's this alternative, and that doesn't work in Ukraine. Does not work. I can put you in touch with commanders who will tell you exactly the same. It does not work.
Have you been to?
So I'm like, so I'm like,
Gail, have you
Me?
been to Ukraine?
Not physically, no. I just spend 8 hours a day there online.
Oh, you should.
Yeah.
You should so go. You really need to go.
I will, absolutely. A lot of my students have said I should wait until the airspace is open again, just in terms of traveling time.
It would make it a lot easier to get there.
Look, just in terms of coming from South Africa, I already need to travel for 2 days to even get to Europe.
Has Yana told you about
Yeah.
how she got there?
Yes, you have not in detail.
Yeah.
It is a huge mission to get in, not into Ukraine,
I'm
but
not
getting
even in
out of
South
Ukraine
Africa.
takes a lot of time.
I've driven almost all the way there before, but
Brilliant. Nice.
Yeah,
it
he
still
drove a
takes
car
me
for
like
us.
2
We
fucking
bought a
Oh,
car.
yeah. Awesome.
So we bought a car, and he was our driver that drove it to Ukraine for us.
No, I will be going to Ukraine.
Awesome.
I have a lot of students and colleagues, and therefore friends that I will be meeting in Ukraine.
You can't be friends with your students. That's just crossing a boundary.
Yes, you can.
Well, you see,
You have never been.
I was going to say, I teach one-on-one classes, not group classes. So it is
I'm
50
joking.
minutes
Yeah.
per hour. I form personal connections with these people. I love them. They're probably
well,
watching us right now. So yeah, I've never been to Ukraine, but when I do go to Ukraine, Dnipro will actually be my first stop because Dnipro. Yeah,
Wow.
I know. It's not the tourist destination, but it is where my company's head offices are, and I have so many awesome colleagues that I cannot wait to meet.
That's really cool. Well, I can't wait
That's awesome.
until you tell us on another stream how that went.
Oh, that will be brilliant. That will be super cool.
So I want to know what goes into planning a protest, because I think one of the things I want people to be able to take away from this is that you don't, as you can see, like I had a one-woman protest, but that's because of shitty admin. Gail had a one-woman protest because she thought I was inspiring, and she was like, "Look, one person can do it."
Look, one person can do it. Why does anyone?
Well, one person can do it. I think that's the point.
I think that's, yeah. So what advice would you give people who are like, I mean, it's especially, I feel like, difficult for us because we're in a BRICS country, you know? So we have to have kind of like our little fact sheet ready when we get the propaganda thrown at us. But like, what advice can you give people who are building up the courage to go and do something?
Take water, because like it's thirsty
Yes.
work.
Yes.
Like take a bottle of water and wear sunscreen.
True.
The
take water thing is so true. Oh my word.
Take a copy of your constitution. Here,
take some cigarettes.
If you think you will be in trouble.
Well,
yeah.
The thing is, like, private security is hired by private buildings. They are instructed by their managers what to do. They are just following the rules of their managers. And anywhere you protest will have security. And depending on your country's constitution, you may or may not be allowed to stand in certain places. As a South African, I have the privilege to stand anywhere. I don't know about other countries' constitutions. You would definitely.
We can do that too.
But print it out. Well, this whole thing about UK not having a printed constitution is something I need to research.
Like an actual constitution.
I just found this out 5 minutes before the stream. But definitely, like, the tabs I have here are just the Public Places Bylaw and the Gatherings Act, saying I am not a gathering. I am not 15 people. I am a demonstration. Like, the language you use is important. Like, what you said to the Monte Casino security guards that you were protesting, I would not have said protesting myself. I would have said demonstrating.
I had no problem protesting. I was like, what are they going to do? Because I wasn't on Monte Casino property. I was in the street outside Monte Casino, and they had a problem with me. And I was like,
you can't have a problem with me. Like,
yes, Nick, we know you have a problem with me.
No, I have a problem
with
her.
But what was your question?
I'm joking. It was a joke.
I thought you had an actual question, like a useful one.
No, I'm never
Okay.
useful.
You're disappointing the
ask Jana.
teacher here, Nick. Damn it.
No, look, I think going back to your question, Jana, what do you need to prepare for a protest? Any physical printed documents that will say that you have the right to be there.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
A bulletproof jacket.
Not necessary in South Africa, maybe in
No,
America.
maybe in.
Sorry.
well, what was
What
very
was like-
interesting is that, again, this just speaks to my privilege as a South African, that I can safely and legally protest, because the 12th of June was, in fact, when things were going crazy in Los Angeles. And it was...
Yeah.
I was well aware of the fact that the military was being called in on protesters in the USA, and that would never happen in South Africa. From my lips to God's ears, that would never happen in South Africa.
Maybe not the military,
not
but
in a post-apartheid South Africa. Our
Marikana.
And when we did the BRICS protest in 2023, the wives and the children and the families of those Marikana miners were there protesting for justice for the Marikana miners over 10 years later. So yes, you're right. This could happen.
It could happen.
The Constitution should
unfortunately.
protect us. And
yeah.
You mentioned earlier about the sunflower on your nails and white girl activism. Yeah. The truth is, we have white privilege. It is true. Even in a post-apartheid South Africa, my white privilege still exists.
Even me.
Even you, Mr. Colonialism there. Yes. It's true.
I mean, he's just in England. You and I are sitting here. We are the actual product. He's just like the source.
You are the source of colonialism. We are the product. And we can all do better than our ancestors. I think that's the real point here. We all need to do better than our ancestors as white South Africans.
Well, you need to do better than anything you can really think of, because you can easily do better.
I can't tell if Nick is taking the piss out of
He might just be, and I will give a very passionate response to it as well.
He's just trolling us.
As a UK resident, citizen, permanent resident of the UK, I think I can inform both of you.
What
I don't know where I was going with that.
Nicola is half British. But it's okay, Nicola, we forgive you.
Shit.
Gobi has a question.
Security works very well. Okay, so how it works, right, is I feel like in other countries, if people have a problem, they would phone the police. In South Africa, we have, like, wherever you are, if you're at a shopping mall, if you're at an office building, or wherever, they have hired private security. And that's who will deal with you first, and then police will come. And oftentimes, like, I remember when we had our protest at Monte Casino, private security came and tried to intimidate us. We were like, we're going to phone the police. And I'm
phone
like,
them, bro. Phone them.
No. Not even that. Gail, across the street. They're parked. The police cars.
Wow, nobody called the police on me. They knew it was unconstitutional. Nobody called the police on me.
They're like...
She's frozen this time.
It's not me. Oh,
it's not you.
You need Starlink, Jana. Jana, you need Starlink. Guys, just a reminder that if anybody can donate to the channel, this is what Project Constantine does. They are raising funds for the Ukrainian army. We are sponsoring drones. I'm not part of you guys. Project
Neither am
Constantine
I.
is
Neither am I.
sponsoring drones, sponsoring cars, sponsoring Starlink for the men on the front lines.
Can we also just appreciate the freeze frame of Yana? Oh my god. Just be like,
I've just got a WhatsApp from her that says her connection died. So I think
yeah.
we might be carrying this stream on our own. I think we're more than capable of doing that until she gets
What are
back.
we supposed to do? Are you the host? Or am I the
I'm
host?
back.
She
Sorry
described you as the co-host. You are the co-host, Nick. I am the guest. Yay, she's
I
back.
don't think that's fair. I don't think
No,
that's fair.
it's I will send you the WhatsApp message. She described you as co-host.
I did describe you as the co-host.
And now you're back. Now I don't have to carry. Thank you,
No,
Yana.
for some reason we're not live. Come on. Don't do this.
We are live. I've got the I can see the live stream on my YouTube on
Like,
my
is
laptop.
it
We're live.
By the way, while you're both just saying stuff because you need to
Yes.
say stuff,
okay?
Nicola van Rijn said,
Van
"It's
Rijn.
now a good time to say I'm half British." Good for you.
Look,
I appreciate you, Nicola.
there's no shame in being British. As long as you're using your white privilege correctly, okay?
Gail. No, for all the shit I give Nick, he's solid. He would not be here if he
He's
wasn't
solid. He's solid. He's solid.
I do feel bad for all the new viewers who do not realize the joking that's going on in the stream, because I know there's a lot of
There's
first-time
joking going
viewers
on?
on the stream.
I think other people are just like, oh, at least that guy Mikola isn't creating crap in chaos in chat. And I'm like,
this
no, guys,
Ukrainian
Mikola's
guy.
here.
Nope, he's creating creating chaos in the stream. Love it.
It's nice that you let me in, though.
Oh, get this, Gail. So Nick got in trouble with, not got in trouble. He got into a fight with a Russian YouTuber.
Sorry.
Because this guy lives in the West and then bitches and moans about how difficult life is as a Russian in the West. And Nick was kind of like, yeah, we'll go back to Russia. And this guy's literally launched 4chan on his ass, tried to get him doxxed.
Oh
Nick,
wow!
tell us the
Wow!
story.
Like this isn't even funny.
It is funny.
Like so this Russian YouTuber, no fuckers, have you heard of him?
Is that why you say his name?
I don't fucking know.
I honestly avoid the online space in terms of awareness for Ukraine. I actually avoid the
what
online
are you doing
space.
on here then?
It is NFKRZ.
Yana asked me. I work with Ukraine 8 hours a day. I do not have the emotional capacity to follow what happens in social media.
I can
Fair enough.
Understand.
Sorry.
So it's NFKRZ. That's the guy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And this guy, so my post about his video got almost 3 million views on Twitter.
And
You're
then he
internet
took offense.
famous.
Yeah, and then some guy who clearly visits 4chan, who doesn't even give a shit about Ukraine, contacted me on Twitter saying, "This guy is trying to dox you."
Wow.
And
That's
Nick,
crazy.
and then after Nick had that, the guy made a YouTube video being like, I'm being targeted by the pro-Ukraine community, and Nick's tweet featured him.
Wow.
Like the victim mentality here. Like, take your privilege, baby.
I think when people are removed, it's like when you are physically removed from what's going on, it's very, very easy to pass judgment, to Yeah, to just get
Yeah.
like keyboard warriors. I don't know. I cannot consider myself a keyboard warrior.
It all ended up okay though, because with all these people on 4chan trying to dox me, they found some guy in Scotland.
I'm sorry for him. God.
Right?
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh my word. The worst internet super sleuths.
Yeah. But in terms of action, in terms of things that make a difference, in terms of raising awareness, there is a lot to be done online. And my dad, bless his heart, is probably watching.
He did at the start.
He
yes.
is watching.
He's probably still here. I only told him after the fact that I had gone protesting. I did not tell him beforehand that I was going to protest on my own. I told him afterwards.
My mom's also super terrified of it. She's like, let me know when you're home safe. Okay. And he's like, aren't you scared they're going to do something? I'm like, they would have done something by now if they wanted to.
Yeah, look, my mom knew beforehand. My dad didn't. They're divorced in
Your dad's
separate
watching,
cities.
by the way. He just now knows that your mom knew beforehand.
I was wondering if he's maybe writing in the chat, because I'm not looking at the chat.
He is. He said, I am ...
Okay. Hi, Dad. Thanks for watching. He said to me,
watching this? Are people still watching this?
Yes.
Thanks, Dad. But he said to me, like, you should involve social media on this. You should get social media involved. You should get people watching and listening. And I'm like, look, there are people on social media doing their very important work. And I was literally thinking of you and Project Constantine when I said that. I said, there are more than enough people doing work on the internet, raising awareness online. I don't think that's really the point of what I'm doing. And he said, no, but if it was on social media, people would notice more. But for me, it was about the people having lunch in the square. A lot of people asked me, well, what flag are you flying? Some people asked, is that the Ukrainian flag?
Okay.
Some people didn't realize the war was still going on.
Yeah, I got that. Still get that one.
Yeah. And I think that is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
I get that from
people
friends.
don't know.
I'm like, I get that from friends, and I'm like, have you heard me tell you it's over? Do you not watch all my stories I post?
Yeah. I do. And
sorry, my dog.
yeah, I think my cat was spoiling the whole stream earlier. It's not even my cat. But I think having eyes on the ground, like raising awareness, showing that we have not forgotten, showing that we are still here with Ukraine, particularly in a South African context. I'm not sure, apart from my friends and family, how many South Africans are in this stream tonight, but my parents, people in my parents' generation, fought for freedom. They fought for equality. They fought for human rights. South Africa should be setting an example for the rest of the world.
Do you think so? I have this theory, and it might just be me projecting what I feel onto other people, right? But the South Africans who I know who are involved with Ukraine are going like above and beyond. Do you think it's just in our nature, or do you think it's almost like a type of our government isn't doing anything, so I need to make up for it? Or is it a combination of it? Because for me, it's a combination. Like for me, I'm like, I need to show I'm one of the good ones. Not really like that, but it's like
it is.
There's this pressure of being like, hey, not all of us are like Russian chills.
I think coming, again, for the non-South African viewers, South Africa changed its government completely in 1994. We became a true democracy. We talk about the new South Africa post 1994 as the South Africa that respects and supports human rights, and that comes from a terrible legacy of oppression, of human rights violations that people fought and died to change. And it was due to international eyes, international attention being paid to South Africa's struggle. That
Your grandfather's also watching.
Your grandfather's watching.
guys, I let both my family groups know. I'm blushing now.
Who are your family?
I have
Oh
the
my
coolest
word.
family. It has to
Hi,
be
Gail's
said.
family. Thank you for being here.
And my students. Thank you to my incredible students, without whom I would not be here today. It is the incredible people I teach overseas.
You probably would be here today.
I hope so. But it is the people I know and love that have brought me here on this stream today.
I just
For
want to give a shout out here to Colby Hendricks, who said, "I painted a Ukrainian flag on my back windshield in a small Republican town in Texas. Somehow no one ever messed with me or my car." Like, well done.
Yes.
Well done. Look,
Colby,
that's
we
the
are
thing,
so
like,
lucky.
That is
No.
fucking courage.
You know what the thing
Oh.
is, right?
Uh-huh.
At some points, I'm like, maybe I should just put like a Ukrainian flag on my car. And then I'm like, no, because when I get road rage, people will associate that with Ukraine.
Interesting,
So-
interesting.
So Lesia, I know Lesia has a bumper sticker of Ukraine on her car, right? And I looked at it and I was like, I will never do that because, and she's like, yeah, 'cause now she was talking about the responsibility she now has to like follow speed limits and follow the rules and everything. I'm like, yeah, that's why I don't have anything on it.
Yeah, you know those Ukrainians, they don't follow the fucking speed limits.
That's so funny. I have never thought, like, I've had my Ukrainian flag in the back of my car for 3 years now.
Yeah.
I've never thought
you've
that this,
It
like, the way
reflects
I
on Ukraine.
drive reflects.
Oh,
Look at her.
But I can, just speaking about visible solidarity, putting your flag in your back windshield. My Vinuk
Mhm.
lives in the back of my car with on the back windshield. I
Nice.
only took it.
Nick,
I
can you
took it out
stop
of my car
saying
for the
this like
stream.
a freaking Gen Z?
Why the fuck is Yana having a problem with me going like this?
Because that's the Gen Z hand. Do a millennial hand heart. Do a millennial heart, not a Gen Z heart. See, like Gail.
Does it matter which one?
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't matter because solidarity is solidarity. It literally doesn't.
okay.
Like Gen Z solidarity, Boomer solidarity. We need all the solidarity we can get. But just going back to who was it? Golby? I think it was Golby who said that
Yeah.
you've got a Ukrainian flag in your windshield. No one's ever touched your car. In I think Texas, somewhere. Yeah,
small
Texas.
town, small town in Texas. Yeah.
So I think I'm not sure if that speaks to the fact that people know we're right, or the fact that we are so far away from Ukraine that people do not know. I know that my students, well, I've got so many stories about so many students, but this line of conversation reminds me that I've got a student living in Poland with a Ukrainian number plate, and he has had to get his car fixed from scratch marks twice because he believes it's because having a Ukrainian number plate in Poland causes people to scratch his car.
Damn. Where's Radek when we need him?
Radek was here.
Yeah, Radek is our Polish friend / volunteer.
Cool. Nice.
/ volunteer.
And I I also know that the only time in 3 years I felt unsafe with my Ukrainian flag on my windshield was when I parked my car literally in the same building as the Russian consulate, because it's the underground parking, and that was the only time in 3 years that I felt like my car could be a target because of the Ukrainian flag on it.
Yeah, I hear you.
In the first, and again, the visibility, the action died down in the first year or two, even for myself. That in the first year or two, I was literally saying on the back of my car, Russia is a terrorist state, stop war, fuck Putin.
Oh, I should start doing
Put it
that.
on the back of your car. On the back of your car, sorry. On the
Of course
back
you
of your
can.
car.
You can put anything on the back of your car.
There was I think, yeah, Jana included it in this link for the YouTube stream. There's
The
a woman called
story,
Olga who
the
wrote
Wild
about
Woman
me.
article.
Stop talking over her, Yana.
Well, there's an article in the link. If you click on the article, you can see some pictures that have been on the back of my car. I live in South Africa. It's legal and it's safe. I also live in a small town in South Africa, so nobody knows, and it sometimes feels like nobody cares.
That's actually something I want to ask you. Is Nick is having his own little joke here. But
I can see that.
What I wanted to ask you is, when it comes to being in Neisner, living there, and feeling like, does it even matter? Do you ever get this feeling of like, what is it worth? Is it worth it? Or do you manage to maintain it because you have the daily, almost daily contact with Ukrainians to kind of remind you that it's
it will never stop being worth it. Because I mean, I live in Neisner now, but I was also living in another small town called George, which is a little bit away from Neisner.
Yeah.
Slightly
I know where
bigger.
both of those are.
Our international audience doesn't. But when I was living in George,
ocean, I don't have the ocean.
Yeah, my condolences, Jana. But I met 2 Ukrainian people in George just because of the posters on my car.
Wow.
Somebody saw my car parked. It was a bar. Sorry, my car was parked outside a bar. They saw my car and they came into the bar, wanting to know who. Yeah.
What? That is awesome.
Yeah, and then I also in George, I had a friend who somehow made contact with a Ukrainian gentleman, who I cannot get in contact with anymore. He moved to Cape Town. I don't know where he is now, but to meet him in this random small town where nobody knew what was going on with Ukraine, and he actually had a Russian passport, which makes things even more complicated.
Yeah.
And just to know that I would not have met those people and had that human connection if if I hadn't put those support stickers on my car.
I think I'll put the Russia as a terrorist state one on my car. That's like a global message. I just don't want people to be like, oh yeah, Ukrainian supporters can't have road rage because
Ukrainian supporters can't have their own bumper stickers.
Look, I did not put. I have a bumper sticker of a trizub that I have not put on my motorbike. I have not put any support Ukraine signs or stickers on my motorbike.
Because you're like, that's where
only on my car. Yeah.
Okay, so not all
Guys,
of us
my parents are watching this stream, please.
Oh yeah, I forgot her parents are on this. Oh my god, I can't even
Gail's
imagine.
gonna get a call after
my
this.
own parents were on this.
My family truly believes in what I'm doing. I think they're proud of me. which is really sweet.
Jana,
That's
I think
great.
anybody can do
can
this,
you
though.
put me in touch with Gail, because I need to send Gala Gail.
Have you
Gail?
just merged our names?
Yes.
I need to send her the video of my dad speaking at the London protest.
I will. I will.
I would love that. Please do. I've never spoken at any protests. I just speak to people when I'm protesting, and because I'm there in the middle of the square waving my flag.
Yeah,
People do
yeah.
come up and ask and say, like, "What are you doing here? Why are you doing this?"
Yeah. And then the
Um,
questions, and then you have to be like ready, like rapid fire answering there.
Yes,
Yeah.
because do you remember in 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine? Yeah, they're still
I don't
invading.
remember.
They have not stopped. But people here, we are so far away, Nick, that people don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, in South Africa, we have a large Muslim population, which means there are a
No.
lot of eyes on Free Palestine, on Palestinian citizens.
Mm.
And that is because of our multicultural background. We and the fact that we should be setting an example for how human rights should be done. So because of that, I think it's important that people don't forget. People
Yeah.
need to keep being visible, keep showing support. I think that visible support is just as important as monetary donations.
Yeah.
That what you guys are doing on the internet is so important that these guys need Starlink.
Mm.
They need drones, they need cars, and this comes from the internet.
Yeah.
But there are ordinary citizens walking around
That need to know the
half
truth.
the
Yeah.
hemisphere away who do not know.
Yeah.
Who can go about their everyday lives without awareness, and that is a privilege that I do not have.
My mom has told me in the past, she's like, can't you just switch it off? Like, just it's so sad. Can't you just switch it off and go do something else? And I'm like, no, no.
Not easily, like not as a South African.
Yeah. It's like
That being
it's like I already know it's going on. At least this way I'm making a difference, you know? As opposed to knowing it's going on and then just being like, oh, I can't do anything. You know?
Yeah. Look, as South Africans, I started this whole speech about South Africa's, changing its government in 1994. We have this idea of what is called a born free. So anybody born after 1994 is considered born free. I was born in 1992, so I'm not exactly born free.
94 baby here.
I was raised in. So you're born free. You are considered a born free. You were born in a free South Africa.
Yeah.
So I'm not a born free, but I was raised in a free South Africa. And that means that, like I keep saying, our constitution protects our rights, but human dignity is universal. And South Africa knows what it means for people to look away. That if we look away, it sets this precedent that it sends a message to Russia that we can wait out this global solidarity.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's about people protested and resisted and believed things could change, and our constitution changed. And I think that my students always say, like, oh my God, how could you do that? Like, and why?
I mean,
it's because protesting made a difference in South Africa.
Your Ukrainian students who've had 2 revolutions, like Orange Revolution and Maidan, they're like, how did you guys change the entire government? I'm like, guys, you did it twice.
I think that this idea that one person can lead to change
Nick, are you
That's a tough
okay?
one. I don't believe my actions as one person lead to change. Has he disappeared?
I don't know what
Yeah,
he's doing.
okay.
Pay attention, Nick. There will be
I'm
questions
just getting
afterwards.
upset by all the topics you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm not here to talk about fun topics.
Oh well, why would I join this conversation then?
Well,
He's joking.
because we're raising awareness.
He's joking.
Oh, thank God. Like, I also don't know like the mood of the stream. I'm like,
He is
because we care.
he is joking. Nick was joking. That was a joke. Also, Rick is here. So Rick is in
Rick's
chat.
here.
Rick is in chat. Yes.
Rick the
He is-
Ukrainian.
Yes, Rick the Ukrainian. So
Oh my
Rick
God.
is
Brilliant.
Is
Is
originally
he gonna?
from.
Did you send him the link so he can join
No,
us?
I did not. Gail, Rick is originally from Makivka. Do you know where that is?
Mhm.
So he's
Yeah.
originally from Makivka. And he streams almost every day, but he does not stream on Fridays. So that's why I'm streaming.
I met him once in
brilliant.
Ukraine at the Azov protest.
The Free Azov protest, yeah. So
Mhm.
every Sunday, Rick streams the Free Azov protest. And he has.
You should send me these links so I can actually
I will.
watch, because I know that every view contributes to.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I'm not big on the social media thing, but just showing up
To be
to
honest-
these streams means that the creators of these streams get revenue that they can
Mhm.
donate to the
Yeah.
armed forces.
Yeah.
So every single person who is here tonight, thank you so much for being here.
Nick, you wanted to
Um,
say something?
If you have,
I've given up on wanting to say something.
Nick,
sorry, Nick.
just say something.
I have a lot to say.
She made me feel stupid for wanting to say something.
What? Nick, just say something.
No, I refuse.
Okay.
That's fine. Then I will say more
Hey,
things.
Alona's here.
Alona?
Aliona, my
No,
Aliona.
no, my Aliona.
No,
It's not yours.
it's not my Aliona. No, it's not my Aliona. I do have a student named Aliona.
Wait, is it?
Oh, how
Is it
lovely.
actually my Aliona?
Yes.
It is. I
Shevchenko.
do not have an Aliona Shevchenko. No, my Aliona I don't think is here. She's busy tonight.
Oh,
She'll watch it later.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, please remind Rick who you are, because your face is familiar, but he meets too many people. So
Remind him of my story.
yeah, like who are you? Like how did you meet?
How did you get involved in Ukraine? This is my first time
Alona,
meeting you. Who are you?
Alona, it will
Yeah.
be available like after we've finished. It will be up as a recording, just to answer you. So when did you meet Rick, Nick?
I met Rick with Yulia in, I think it was probably April 2022 at the Azov protest.
The Azov protest. Awesome. Yeah.
She was filming a stream, I think.
Yeah,
or he
yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one of them was filming the stream.
Yeah. But
A live stream of the
Yeah.
protest.
every Sunday, Rick has a live stream of the protest.
Oh wow. Maybe I should live stream my next protest.
Yeah, like you and like just in case someone comes up.
Me and myself and I. Yeah.
Okay, now he remembers you left
Yeah.
with Yulia. I'm like, yes, this is the guy who Yulia threatened to murder the whole time.
Yulia. Oh sweet.
Mm.
This is
Nice.
the guy who Yulia threatened to murder the whole time.
I'm that guy. She threatened to murder me.
Yes.
Honestly, if
Nick.
somebody spelt my name like Yulia, I would also
No,
want
that
to
is how
murder
she
you.
spelled. That's how she spells her own name. That's
I
like
will be
her
telling my
YouTube-
student Yulia about this. and hearing her opinion.
That's like she has like a YouTube channel, and that's her YouTube channel. It's like Yulia.
That's beautiful. And I think I know why also, because every English speaker will look at the name Yulia and say Julia. So I do believe that Yulia is about making sure us ridiculous English speaking people pronounce the Y of Yulia and don't J Julia. I'm sure that's why. Yulia, please let us know. Oh wait, Yulia's not in the chat.
She's not watching.
Well, you can let Alona say.
Yeah, please let me know if my theory is correct. I believe she chose that username so that English-speaking people would do the Y, not the J.
Probably.
Awesome.
But yeah, so I have basically covered everything in my notes.
Nice.
Nice. So as a takeaway, just keep active.
Are you talking to me or her?
And actually, with the viewers,
I want to talk to our viewers as well. Can I say something to our viewers?
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that our presence, just showing up, is powerful. Donations are powerful. Posting on social media is powerful. Anything you can do is powerful. You don't need to go and stand in a public square alone. That is on the extreme level of things. But you can use your voice. You can write to your Minister of Parliament. You can challenge disinformation where you see it. Put stickers on your car. If you are privileged enough to live in a country where it is safe to put support stickers on your car, do so. I think that we should not be bystanders.
You know what? One of my favorite sayings is by Desmond Tutu, who said,
"Thank you. Please repeat it." It's my life motto.
Yeah, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor.
Yeah. I think a lot of South Africans, hopefully a lot of South Africans live by that phrase.
Yeah.
Because that is how we make a difference.
Yeah.
I think it's about...
Yeah. So chat, just thank you for being here. And please continue to support Ukraine in, what is it, like small little acts of protest, and
Exactly.
Yeah,
I want to say that like human dignity, human rights are universal. They cross borders. Change at a governmental level happened in South Africa because of ordinary people standing up and refusing to be silent against what is wrong. So I truly believe that global change can happen just by ordinary people standing up.
And right now I know there's a whole thing with whatever the hell America is doing or whoever is doing. What we can do and what we can affect is what we do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So
I think I just want to say to everybody watching, I just want to say that Ukraine is not forgotten. We see Ukraine, we believe in Ukraine. And as long as Ukraine keeps going, the support for Ukraine will still keep going too. I think that's the most important thing I have to say for tonight.
Yeah. Super. I think that is it. Nick, do you want to close us out? Do you have anything to say?
Well, I just can't believe that you never even asked me about anything much during this whole thing.
You can be a guest speaker next week. How about that?
This has all been about Gail. Fucking Gail.
Okay, so tell us about yourself, Nick.
Sorry?
Tell us about yourself. What do you want to tell us, Nick?
Oh, well, what do you want to know?
I think we all want to know. I think everybody wants to know that the world is watching Ukraine.
Yes, Nick, are you
that
watching?
we will
Okay.
not give up. We will not stop supporting. And I think that's the most important message we can continue to share every single day on in whatever form that takes, whether it's social media, stickers on your car. It means a lot to Ukraine, to individual Ukrainians, and hopefully on a governmental level as well.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Awesome.
think so. No.
Cool. Oh, Nick.
Yeah, but you can remain cynical. It's okay. It's okay.
Awesome. Okay, guys, thank you so much
I've
for
had such a
watching, to
lovely
the two of
time.
you. Thank you for being here. So,
Thank you. It's been wonderful to meet you, Nick. Jana, I will see you in Johannesburg soon.
yay! Bye. Nick,
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye. Have